In this video, I'm going to show you a method to bring free traffic to your website using Pinterest. And this method is completely automated and has helped me to generate more than 5 million impressions, 50,000 website visitors, and thousands of dollars in sales in my Shopify stores. And I cannot believe how people is skipping on this opportunity because, as I said, this method is completely free and fully automated. So if you like the idea, just stay till the end because I'm going to explain from A to Z how to build this system. And to build this system, we're going to use Airtable for the database, Make.com for the automations, and Templated to create the images. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is to actually show you the type of pins that we upload to Pinterest, okay? And one thing that you actually need to understand is that Pinterest works pretty much the same as Google because it's also a search engine. But the only thing is that the image functionality is super important. So for example, here what we are trying to do is to rank for unique hobbies for women, and then here we also have some keywords, and then as I said, the image is also super important, okay? And then here we're also going to have some other images, okay? And what we actually want to achieve with this is that the people actually visit the site. So once we are in the site, then we're going to be able to redirect to the product pages, collection pages, or basically anywhere that we want, okay? And as you can see, we have all these pins that have been generated completely automatically, okay? And now I'm going to show you what is actually possible with this Pinterest automation, okay? Because we have different accounts and in total we have generated 5 million impressions almost here in this account with almost 40,000 clicks. Then in this one over here, we have generated 300,000 impressions with almost 5k outbound clicks. Then in this one with more or less the same, and actually here we have been shadow banned for a long time. Then in this one, we have also been shadow banned for a long time, but we have generated also almost 400k impressions and 3k outbound links. And then this one, that was actually an account that we started the latest, okay? And as you can see, we have generated in total almost 6 million impressions and probably more than 50,000 links, and this has been completely automatically and completely free. So now I'm going to show you all the different elements that actually make this automation possible, okay? So we are going to have two make automations that actually are not very complex, and then this Airtable database where basically we are going to gather all the information and we are going to store all the information, okay? Then we're also going to need this template from where we're going to create all the different images, okay? So I'm going to start from the beginning because the first step is basically to have this Shopify watch articles module, okay? And if you are using WordPress or WooCommerce or whatever, you can also create a module that actually watches the blog post entries or any item entry that you want to automate creating pins, okay? So this module that we have over here basically is connected to my Shopify store and is connected to this specific blog from here, okay, that is consales. Then we have the limit 50 blogs, but actually that's just the random number that was by default with our table pins. And then we're going to update the pin link, the title, and also the caption with the summary HTML, okay? So as you can see, this scenario is super simple and it's actually the first step of the process, okay? And once we are in our table, we're going to have a database basically like this one, where basically we're going to have different fields, like the pin ID that is going to be generated later, the pin link, where basically we're going to be able to access to all the different pins and it's going to be generated later as well, the title, the caption, the brand that comes from another table because this is actually a very big system that also creates articles automatically, and I'm going to leave a link here if you want to take a look to it. Then the name of the brand and the article that it has been generated from, okay? Then here we're also going to have this column that is going to be the query that we're going to send to Unsplash in order to retrieve a relevant image, okay? So once a new record is created over here, what is going to happen is that we're going to trigger this automation from here, okay? That is going to be this creates a pin, okay? So basically the automation is the following. When a record is created, then we're going to run this script over here. And this script is basically a regular webhook script where basically we're going to be sending all the different parameters that we need in our make scenarios. So we're going to be sending the record ID, the title, the description, the URL, the Pinterest post ID, and also the query, okay? That the query actually is not mapped. So we're going to be sending all these different parameters, as you can see. And once this webhook is triggered, what we're going to do is to trigger this make scenario that we have over here. So first of all, it starts with the webhook with the information that we receive from Airtable, and then we're going to send this request to obtain the Unsplash image that is going to be relevant for our specific pin, where basically we're going to be sending a request to this URL that is going to be a GET request, and we're going to be sending 3 parameters. The first one is going to be the orientation, which is going to be portrait. Then we're going to send another parameter that is going to be this count parameter that is going to say basically that we only need 1 image, and then we're going to send another parameter that is going to be the query, that is going to be the search term that we're going to be using inside Unsplash. Then we also need to send body type raw, content type JSON, application JSON, and then we need to parse the response, okay? Then the next step that we are going to do here is to actually create the pin inside templated, okay? And in order to create the pin inside templated, what we're going to do is to basically create this template over here. And templated is a software that basically helps to create images and PDFs API, okay? And basically what we actually have to do is to just add the images, and in this case I'm not gonna do it. And basically what we need to do is to add the images, and then all these images that we add are going to be variables, okay? So for example, we can actually change the name, and here it's going to be new image, okay? And all these images that we add here as variables, then they are going to be parameters that we are going to be able to change via API. So obviously I'm going to delete this one because I don't need it for absolutely anything, but you actually get the idea, because basically we have an image in the background that is the image placeholder that we are going to substitute with the Unsplash image that we retrieve. Then we also have this title that is also a variable that we are going to change for the title of the pin, and then we're also going to have this call to action that is going to be different depending on the actual brand, okay? And then we also have the logo that for Pinterest is actually recommended. So as you can see, the template is nothing crazy, and to be honest, it took 5 minutes to set up, so that's why it's even more impressive. So I'm going to show you how the API is set up, so basically we can create the images dynamically. So basically we're going to send a request to this URL over here, and it's going to be a post request, okay? Then we're going to send the headers, authorization, and then better, the templated token, content type, application JSON, and then the body type is going to be raw, content type JSON, application JSON, and then we are going to send this body in the request, okay? And this is very important because this template that you see here that basically finishes with 08C is the same template that we have over here, okay? If we click in automate this template, we're going to see that this template ID is basically this one. Okay, so this is exactly the same template ID. If you create your own template or you create multiple templates, each template is going to have an ID associated, okay? So as you can see here, we're going to send the background image with the image URL, and this variable that we have got here, the one in position 1, and then the call to action with the text from the call to action, then the title with the text from the title, and that would be basically it, okay? And after that, what is going to happen is that we are actually going to receive an image basically like this one, the logo, the image in the background, the title, the call to action, and basically all the details that we need to have a pin posted on Pinterest, okay? So let's continue with the scenario. And as you can see here, we have 5 different routes, but the reality is that potentially you only need one, but we have 5 because we have 5 different brands in 5 different languages. So I'm going to explain only one of the routes because the rest are exactly the same, okay? So what is going to happen here is that we are going to use this create a pin module from Pinterest, where basically we're going to use this media search image URL with the image that we have rendered from the previous step, that is this one that we have over here, is this 23 as you can see. Then we're also going to have our Pinterest board ID that is a variable that we had stored in Airtable, okay? And then we're going to have the title, the description, the alternative text that is going to be the title again, and then also the link that is going to be the URL that we previously stored inside Airtable coming from Shopify, okay? And then in the last step, what we're going to do is to update the record in Airtable with an Airtable update a record, but actually it's written create a pin on Airtable. And basically we're going to map the record ID and we are going to update basically the pin ID, okay? So there is not going to be anything else that needs to be done. And by the way, guys, remember that in the description there is a link where you have access to my free community where you can find free and premium templates like this one. And if you want me to install this template or you want me to develop some other project for you, just book a call and let's talk about it. And as you could see, guys, with this method that is fully automated and completely free, we have generated more than 6 million impressions. We also have another part of the system where we create blog articles completely automatically. So if you want to know how to create those blog articles automatically, you can check out this video.